everybody. I want to welcome you to our next talk with Denise Quigley. She is an advocate. She's going to tell us about herself in just a little bit. Denise has been present on the Facebook impromptu chats that I have been doing, so I very much appreciate her support and encouragement in that. And so we're here today to talk about your number one concern that we hope doesn't ever happen. And that is if your loved one, your son or daughter, has to go into the hospital because of the COVID. And so Denise is going to help us walk through some of the things that we need to prepare before and some things that we can do if that should occur. So first, Denise, thank you. Welcome. And we'd love to know a little bit more about you and the great work that you have been doing for many years.
Okay, so I work at Georgia Advocacy Office. I'm the director of resource advocacy, and I'm also an attorney and former special ed teacher. As you said, I hope nobody ever has to use these things that I'm going to talk about, but it's best to have them ready. So what you want to think about as just in preparation for what happens if my loved one with a disability has to go to the hospital and I can't go with them. So what are the things when I go to the hospital with them to register them and to talk to the nurses? What are all those things that I do automatically? And kind of think about those things now and put them down on paper. And you can put them down on paper. It can be a more formal thing. And there are some, and in my blogs, I reference a health passport from Florida, and New York put together a COVID-19 disability form, but it can be anything. Emory University has one for individuals with autism, and it's excellent, and you can adapt it for the person. They don't have to have autism in order for you to use it. And I take a little of everything and put it in my own piece of paper, okay? But the things that I'm talking about is you want to make sure that you have, okay, first, obviously, their name and address and contact person, emergency contact person. You definitely want to know that. You want to tell them what the disability is. If there are specific healthcare needs that they have to be aware of, that they may not be aware of by looking at them, your loved one. You want to make sure that if they have allergies, you want to write those down. And what are your allergies? You absolutely need a list of medications, all the medications and when they take them. So I take certain medications. I take one of this in the morning and one of this in the evening, and I take these every morning, whatever. But you need to be that specific because your loved one isn't going to be able perhaps to tell them what that is and what they need. Getting more complicated for people who have certain dietary needs is really important. If they need liquid diet versus maybe tube feeding, maybe soft solids. So all of those things, if they have specific texture preferences. So these are all things that we do every single day and we don't even think about it. So you're going to have to go back into your preparation mode and what is it that I do every day? And it might not be a terrible thing to do this over a course of a week and take a couple of hours and write down all the things you do for those 2 hours. And then the next day, take another couple of hours, and the next day, another couple. And the reason I say that is, we're busy. Moms are always busy. Moms are always doing more than one thing at a time. And so to sit down and just say, oh, okay, so this is what I do every day is really, really difficult. I've now written 3 blogs and they are so painful for me. And I'll tell you, it's painful because it's so real to me personally, for my daughter, for my husband, for me. And I found, one point I had to put it down for 5 days. I couldn't even look at it. I couldn't think about writing it because this makes it very real. So sometimes, you want to just be an ostrich and stick that head in the sand and just keep on going because that's how we get up every morning and keep keep going forward. So I just want to kind of give some tips on, you don't have to do this immediately and put it all out there if it gets a little stressful. So take a break and then, look at it. But these are important things to do, and you should do it as soon as you can. So.
Yeah. And so I like how you say to break it up, and that just, it is hard work. It can be emotionally triggering. So, keep those things in mind. I like the resources that you provided. It's always great to have a template of some sort. So the organizations that have provided the template is just so helpful.
They really have.
Yeah.